oh, you need to bench flat on your back, because that's how God intended the bench press to be. You can't like arch. No. You just need like fucked AC joints for the rest of your life. Like no scapular retraction. Welcome to the first Team Live to Live podcast, and I'm here with Ravi and Shah. We're excited to be here. We're down in London Podcast Studios in Hackney, and since Shah is definitely the most nervous about jumping on this, I'd like you to introduce yourself first. Yeah.
Oh, well, you could have warned me.
Yeah, go on. Tell us about yourself.
Hello, I'm Shah. And what do you want me to say about myself?
Tell us about your sporting experience, what's led you here, and you know why you're part of this team.
So I am here as an athlete and a coach for Team Live to Lift. I basically got involved in powerlifting a little bit by mistake, really. I come from like a gymnastics and cheerleading background, which has actually formed like a really good foundation for powerlifting. But I left the cheerleading side behind, and I ended up going into the gym and lifting weights, and got approached by a PT in the gym, and he was like, I feel like you'd be kind of good at powerlifting. And at first I was just like, okay, like it's a style of training, like I'll give it a go. And then didn't really think about competing or anything. And then it got to a point where he was like, I can't take you any further. And like, you need to basically go and find how you can compete. And I was like, oh my God, my world's crashing down. Like, why is he just leaving me to do this on my own? I can't do much on my own.
That's really true.
Yeah, really true.
That's really true.
And like, I had just previously lost my love for my previous sport, which was cheerleading. It basically was my whole life. It was my job. It was my sport. It was everything that I thought I was going to go into, but didn't. There's a whole story behind that, which I'm sure we'll get onto at another point. So yeah, when he said he couldn't take me any further, I was a little bit like upset, but he pointed me in the direction of Nick. And we got chatting. Nick had already seen a few of my videos on Instagram, hadn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I'd already been like in there, like trying to like, you know,
dropping some hints.
You should come and join my team.
Definitely
You're
not
kind
stalking.
of no, definitely not stalking. No.
Not poaching. No. Just being a nice guy.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And yeah, so he was like, okay, should we do a phone call? And I was like, absolutely not, because I don't do phone calls. I don't know how I'm on a podcast today. I can't even do a phone call.
You know, I like how you were nervous, and so far we've got like half your life story. As well. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
We're on a time limit.
I'm waffling.
we are on a time limit.
So yeah, we had a phone call. I think I don't even know if we did. I came and met you at Rise.
You did, yeah.
And I was basically like mute.
Yeah, you were quite mute, like for like
mute. Yeah, you were like, wow, she's gonna be hard work.
Yeah, but you were strong.
But I was strong. I had that going for me at least.
Yeah, I think we like tested your bench when we first met each other, and you were like what 53 and you benched 60.
Yeah. Made a few tweaks, and I was like, oh, okay, this is how you actually do it.
Yeah.
And then you were like, do you want to come on board? And I was like, let's give it a go. You were like, okay, do you want to compete in 8 weeks? And I was like, 8 weeks. Bear in mind, I didn't think I was going to ever compete. Like, that was not in my life schedule to compete in powerlifting. And when I saw that people wore singlets, I was like, I don't think it's for me. But you said 8 weeks. I think you're ready. And yeah, the rest is history. It
is quite rare, to be honest with you, to get somebody in through the door, like when you are coaching, right? And to see that like they are ready.
I think you got to see the person's background, as you just said, like competed high level in one sport. So I wouldn't say completely out of a comfort zone. Yeah, kind of like
it definitely has good carryover.
That sense, used to like being put under pressure on the day, kind of thing. But it's obviously at the time a completely new sport, so it's going to be overwhelming at some points.
I mean, as long as someone's not a complete idiot, you can drill in the commands like in 8 weeks, like the sort of standard. Do you know what I mean? And you can be like,
I think you see enough on Instagram as well with people putting up their competition posts to get a general idea of how it kind of goes.
Yeah. What about you then, Ravs? What's led you here?
I'm being held against my will, please.
Blink twice.
My background, played at a decent level, both football, cricket. I think what it boils down to most of all, we can make all the excuses we want, but just not good enough. Boils down to that kind of thing. I've always enjoyed the gym work around it, so I knew I was always going to stay like within sport or fitness industry, like within that, and did PT course alongside that, and then sort of fast forward a little bit, I've managing gyms, running personal training business. We've obviously worked together previously as well, tailed off for a little bit, and then we met back due to other circumstances which we won't go into. And I think we've both competed previously before this all started, and whilst we haven't since, I've always enjoyed sort of like helping people at competitions, whether that's guiding a client or even if I'm just there on the day and I can see someone struggling, like just giving them a hand. And yeah, that's kind of what's led us here really. We didn't really stay out of touch whilst we weren't working together. And yeah, we'll obviously go on to a little bit about how the team started, but that's,
That is the culture of the sport though, isn't it? It's like, I think if you get involved in powerlifting and you end up loving it, which I think most people do, it's very simple. You have that fantastic community around you and it's kind of like infectious, like it grows on you and you end up wanting to just like help people because a lot of people use it to overcome certain things or whatever it is, or to better themselves, self-improvement. So like even just lending a helping hand, making sure somebody doesn't, like we were talking about rapping the other day, people missing raps, and
you learn. I think you learn that as you kind of compete, and it's drilled within you. I think who you learn off is how you dictate where you go in this sport. If you're kind of I'm just going to focus on myself, then that's how you'll portray yourself. We certainly come from a background where you do stay that extra hour behind to help spot and load someone like in the gym and all that kind of stuff too. So
that's what we came up on though, wasn't it? When we were learning, like we were like 5 in the mono, like 4 in the mono, like 3 or 4 people deadlifting.
That's how powerlifting
should be. Yeah.
Well, how it started. Obviously now it's a little bit more accessible. You can just rock up in belt and sleeves. You don't necessarily need to have anyone with you, but I think it's important to have at least someone there just to like. Just a little bit of guidance. Just it's always good to have another person's opinion, I'd say.
Nice. Yeah. So we thought we'd kind of kick off the main bulk of it, right? Like we obviously we try to be dedicated with our content production, and we try to push out as much content as possible. And for all of the good likes and the positive comments, we do get some hate. So we thought we'd kick off today with a nice hateful comment, discuss it, and
nice light start to the
to the podcast.
Which one should we choose? I've got a whole album.
Give some context about the video maybe first.
Okay, so I've got a few.
Okay,
I've got a few videos, but I would say in particular, like one that stands out is I uploaded a video of my bench. I'd just come on board and it was before I was doing my first competition. I'd learned how to bench properly now and like get the most out of my bench. So obviously in powerlifting, you're trying to move the most weight possible from A to B. So if I make my range of motion smaller, I should technically be able to move more weight, right? Because you don't have to move it
in theory.
In theory.
In theory.
Yeah.
So coming from a gymnastics cheerleading background, I'm quite bendy, right? So
link in bio.
Steady.
You want to buy mobility manual, 15% off code.
Oh,
I got it in.
Haven't even got our sponsors in yet, let alone your one.
So I'd uploaded a video and I was like super proud, like, wow, I'm moving. I don't even know what it was. It was probably like 55 kg or something for a set of 6 or something. And I was like, wow, okay, I feel like this is really good, something to celebrate. I was not prepared for the amount of comments I was going to get just slating what I was doing. And funnily enough, it's all from men. So yeah, let's go through it. I get a lot of, be careful. I hate being this guy, but I don't want anyone getting hurt. Thank you for looking out for me. I do really appreciate it. It's
powerlifting, at some point someone's going to get hurt, right? Lifting heavy weights. Yeah, you're going, yeah.
But I'll reply, it's you back the beef all the time.
Always, got to.
Her spine isn't under load.
Yeah.
And then he'll try again. Her spine isn't under load. Okay. And And then we have, funny how the one guy defending the arch without any ground to stand on. like you're not my coach or anything.
Yeah. It's not like we haven't got like, world championship titles as a team, or like British championship titles, British records, European records, world records, just to name a few.
Just a few.
Just a few. No offense, by the way.
Yeah, no offense. Oh yeah, no offense. Yeah. You've come out of nowhere, like in the darkness. Yeah. Like, you could have just scrolled on by and just, you know, but you've decided to be a white knight, come in, being like this poor damsel in distress.
Exactly.
Who's doing that weight for more reps than I can.
Yeah.
I'm so concerned for her general well-being.
So yeah, the main one that stuck out was you were back and forth with this guy, and he goes, "She looks like the Matterhorn." Right?
Which is a mountain in the Alps, apparently.
So you replied saying, "We will put that on the back of her team jersey and we'll be sure to send you a picture."
Yeah.
We were going to, I think this was before my first competition, but when we went to the Europeans in Hungary, there was a t-shirt stand. It was like a sign from God that this is the time to get the name on the jersey, right?
Yeah.
So we put the Matterhorn on the jersey, and that became my nickname. And then I remember I did a post and I put all of his comments around the picture of me with this t-shirt on, and yeah, it was great. That got a lot of a lot of likes. But yeah, so what else do we have?
That was the same comp where Lily refused to get ginger pubes on the back of her top.
Yeah. We had some good nicknames back then.
Yeah. Got off quite lightly. I think I was still on the plane heading over. Left it in your hands.
Just got
just Coach Ravs.
Got off quite lightly.
I think I got Coach Nick on the back of mine as well. It's like, coaching team, we have like we don't get the piss taken out.
No,
of us
we don't.
Much.
That's the rules.
Yeah, just apart from my hairline. Everyone just goes for the hairline.
Got a love spine day.
Oh, spine day. That's my favourite day. Do you know? I enjoy spine day.
What did you say? You said, until you fill out your t-shirt, worry less about this beast.
Yeah.
And then someone replied saying, that's mean.
Yeah.
Keep at it, man. Defend the other guy. And I said, but it's okay for him to comment negatively on my post. Make it make sense. If you can't take it, don't give it.
Do you know the thing about these comments though is that, like, obviously when as PTing, naturally I think to begin with as like a PT you tend to train more female clients than you would male clients. We know, like, men's egos are interesting things. I don't need the help. So you tend to train more women, right? But you coach young girls and you realize like how sometimes fragile some people's confidence can be. So like someone's done something good for themselves. They've made like an attempt to try something new, and you're scrolling on the internet, and instead of just going about your day, you've decided to be a prick and just stop and shit on someone without having to deal with the consequences. Because, if you did that in person, you might get a smack in the face. But obviously on the internet, you're protected behind your screen. Do you know what I mean? But like people just really need to be aware, and like,
I think it's just not seeing the bigger picture. Like they're looking at that one post and not maybe seeing someone's background of how far they've come along, like strength development or just life development. Some people have genuine anxiety to even step foot in the gym, let alone all that kind of stuff as well. So it can really knock someone, and it's always now just going to be a part of anything that you do. So and
it's also as well like people, you're not making any money from it at the time. You were just posting your bench videos. Like, I think, cool. If someone's putting out wrong information and they're financially gaining from it, then maybe you could critique their argument they're going for. But for just some random girl on the internet who's just benching, like, just let her be, man.
It's like they've not looked deeper into it. The fact that I compete in powerlifting, they think that I'm just like in the gym.
We're in the gym and like, everyone needs to like, you need to bench flat on your back, because that's how God intended the bench press to be.
Exactly.
Like, you can't like arch. No. You just need like fucked AC joints for the rest of your life. Like no scapular retraction. So there's been some exciting news recently, which is that obviously the team's grown and we've taken on 2 sponsors, one existing sponsor and one new sponsor for the 23-24 season. So we are excited and thrilled to announce that Rise Gym, the best gym in Hertfordshire, two best gyms in Hertfordshire, because they have two sites in Hertfordshire, one in Stevenage, one in Welling, are sponsoring Team Live to Lift for the 2023-2024 season. I personally am thrilled about that they've decided to sponsor us. They've been more than welcoming for powerlifting in the gym. They've supported us, and they've been, sharing our stuff and great help. And on top of that, it's one of the best places to work I've experienced in the fitness industry. The gym's going places, the brand's going places, and yeah, we're over the moon. So thank you very much to Rise Gym. The second one is Summit, who are based in Rise Gym, but they also have other locations all around, like the southeast, I believe, London and Hertfordshire and places like that. They're a therapy company, a sports therapist company, where they have like physio, they have osteo, sports massage, general treatments, very good at like diagnosing and treating issues, which you don't often get with many therapy companies. And they were sponsored us last year, and they've decided to keep the shirt sponsorship this year. So thank you very much to Summit. You guys have been absolutely fantastic in training and helping our athletes stay fit and getting people prepped for comp. So yeah, amazing. So we want to get into like, we asked some questions, and we want to see what people like, people asked about what is like Team Live to Lift and what we are, who we are, where we're going with things. And for the first, the main bulk of this podcast, that's what that's going to be about. So Ravi, what is Team Live to Lift?
Team Live to Lift.
To you, it's like, what's it to you? Do you know what I mean?
I think we've obviously experienced where we used to work, we kind of made a little bit of a team because we're running a competition within that gym, and it kind of started off that way. We took a group of athletes to a qualifier, and I wouldn't necessarily say it was a joke. We're like, we're Team Live to Lift kind of thing, like, and it's just kind of like, this is us. And we thought no one else has really made it like both a community and a coaching business. You know, you can always just buy a t-shirt and stick a logo on it, and it's probably did just start off as that, just as like a little bit of fun. But now we've sort of expanded it. Obviously, we 3 coaches, where it just started off with yourself, and I would, when I'm not working, come along and handle and everything like that, to now see where it's grown to in a little over 18 months, like with what we now 35
Yeah,
35 athletes across 3 coaches. I think originally it was probably just designed for powerlifting, but now we take on all walks of life, whether it's lifestyle or you do want to go into a little bit more of like the aesthetic side of sport, or if you're training for a skill sport, anything like that too. So I don't think we originally planned to where we are, but we've gone with the flow, and it's going really well, I think. yeah, definitely. And just like running with the ball, things take time. I think like when I obviously got with Sophie was into the bikini. She was competing in bikini. She had clients, and I remember going to bodybuilding, and like you said, we had the experience of being part of a previous team that maybe wasn't running this same way, but the concept was there. So I ended up going to the bodybuilding, and there is a distinct difference in the professionalism in the coaching companies in bodybuilding compared to powerlifting. And you would see these teams, team this, team that, and they're run really well. People following around with cameras. The content was on point. And I think like I took a lot of inspiration from that, but then I actually wanted to make it a team. And people are competing in an individual sport, and it is about the individual. But I think it can be quite a lonely pursuit if you don't do it with other people. I don't think it can be necessarily done on your own.
No.
Even if it's just as simple as getting a spot for your big bench in the gym. Like you're never really going to do it on your own.
And one of the beautiful things about our team, and although we are a coaching company, one of the beautiful things about our team is that whenever we go to competitions, there's always a crowd that comes with us. There's always people that go and support. They're friends, like, as well as teammates. People are going out on the weekends together. You know, there's girls' nights, which we obviously don't get a look into. Outrageous.
Oh, well.
But there's girls' nights being arranged, and birthday parties, and we're trying to be as social as possible. And it's just a really nice community of people. There's a huge WhatsApp group which can get a little bit out of hand from time to time, but it's just a community of people who love lifting and want to better themselves. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have dropped off pretty quick if I was doing it on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where credit to you is that knowing you for a while, you'll never let just something just sit and plateau. What's the next step? So like this is the next step, going internationally to competitions, like all that kind of stuff as well. Like
this was the thing with the social media. So it's like, I'm obviously running my in-person PT business for like my lifestyle, as well as having some powerlifting clients in person. But at one point we with the Instagram, we made the Team Lift to Lift Instagram, and that new collaborations feature was like live, and that's all we were doing. We were getting people to collaborate with us. And then I looked, you spent too much money one summer.
We don't think about that.
And it was like, hey, like, do you want a job doing the social media? Because like, I don't physically have time for it. And for anybody like out there who's listening who thinks like, we're talking about imposter syndrome and stuff, like that was a real big imposter syndrome moment for you.
Massively.
You were like, I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just practice for free. It's okay.
Yeah. And I was like, no, absolutely not.
You were like, I'm just going to send you the money. I'm like, no, but I'll send it back.
But and we're both, I mean, it's the same with anything. Like none of us, when we first start something, are good. We're always shit at something. And it was just like, I'm going to give you time to grow into it and get better. And now, we're over a year of doing it. Instagram's amazing. The posts are like
predominant for our inquiries, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like inquiries come through, they're engaging. We have like strategic like talks sometimes about like, how can we get through to people and da. But yeah, the Instagram.
Hammer in it, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that plays a major part in just like the growth of powerlifting in general. I feel like a few years ago, no one really knew about it. It was happening, but people were doing cool stuff, but it wasn't really getting shown on social media. There wasn't a big show of it or anything. And I think like over the past couple of years, like social media has really played a massive part in the growth of powerlifting.
Why do you think that is?
Certainly a sport that's more accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
I think I've said this previously, you don't have to look a certain way. It's obviously like you want to be in the best shape possible to be able to lift the biggest weights possible, but everyone's got to wear uniformed singlets. So at the end of the day, like we're all wearing the same thing. I wouldn't necessarily say cost effective for your first competition. You can make it cost effective. You don't have to wear a belt. You just have to have a singlet and rock up, but obviously you're gonna use equipment to your advantage if you're allowed to use it. 100%. We'll obviously go on to like wraps and sleeves and all that kind of stuff. It seems to have really exploded since COVID. Since off the back of the lockdowns, I think because people were limited to equipment, like you were restricted to potentially like a barbell and weights. Some people may not even have had that much. It then sort of like made people go back to the basics really, and then it becomes enjoyable. Like it is a thrill when you hit those big numbers on those lifts. Like you can chase something. Not to say that the other sports aren't good, but it's
out of all of them, it's definitely, I think it's the simplest.
Yeah.
You've got, I mean, like out of the gym sports, CrossFit, I mean, to be any good at CrossFit, you have to have huge technical skills. Like, can you walk on your hands? Do you know what I mean? And can you clean or snatch a barbell? Olympic lifting, clean and jerk, snatch, like they're really technical movements. You have to get specialist coaching for that. And those type of coaches that can coach you to a good standard are very rare. Bodybuilding, again, and talking about this, I think the industry maybe 5 years ago was very heavily pointed towards bodybuilding. And I think it still is for the vast majority of people. People want to look aesthetic. Like, do you know what I mean? People want to look good naked. So you can do that with powerlifting. But I think that the reality hitting with bodybuilding is that you need to have those genetics. Like you are not going to look like a Greek god unless you have these genetics and you also apply the really hard work, the nutrition. It's a 24/7 thing. Like it's all the time.
You have hit the nail on the head. You can do all of those things,
Yeah.
and you can get yourself to a certain point. But unfortunately, if you're not blessed
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the best
yeah.
genetics, like you're not, you're not going to get anywhere with it. And
Exactly.
it's a sad thing. Whereas powerlifting, like,
There's kind of like two sides to powerlifting. There's like people that do it and they're just against themselves and they're just working on bettering themselves. And then there's the other side that are wanting to make it to the top. So I think there's options for both.
That's what was said on that Iron Minds. Is it Iron Minds the podcast?
Yeah,
it's not to take anything away from.
Yeah, those guys in Ireland are really, really doing bits as well for powerlifting at the moment.
From that, the whole social media thing and stuff like that, off of that, Jay was on that podcast, and when he was saying darts has such a big show of it, and it's darts, it's people throwing an arrow at a target, like.
Well, you're sitting half a mile away and you're watching someone like.
And there's so many people go and watch that. Like, why can't powerlifting be like that?
Yeah, I think like that group of lads in Ireland that seem to, I mean, it seems like Jay is a real driving force in all of it, and they're really involved in the business of powerlifting. What they're doing for the sport at the moment is amazing, because abs, we went to one in Glasgow, and from what we've heard, it's nothing compared to what the one in Dublin's like. But we're going to Cologne in June. You're signed up to compete in June, and it's just a spectacle. Like the last one, you know, the abs pro.
Yeah.
We all watched that on the stream. We were all sitting in the group chat. There's like 15, 20 of us in the group chat that are like, we're just talking about watching it as it's going on. Like it was, you know, we were watching the football or watching the rugby or whatever it is. And that's amazing for the sport, because it shows that there is an interest and it is driving it forward. And credit to them guys for what they're doing.
They really take care of the lifters as well. That's what I like. Like, I felt like I was a celebrity at that competition last year.
Although you probably would ask for camel toeless seam shorts.
Make a note. The shorts. If I see you use my photo for any promo for this next competition and my camel toe is out, I will be coming for you. There will be a lawsuit. I swear down. Honestly, I had to send them to Soph and get her to remove my camel toe. And we have an album named Sally now, don't we? Sally the camel. But yeah, no, it was really good. Like, obviously I weighed in.
Please use her photos, by the way.
No,
Yeah, please, every single one.
Please use every single one of them, right? She'll get rinsed for it in the group chat. It'd be hilarious.
You've seen my boner when I bench, lady boner. Like,
you do have a massive lady boner when you bench as well.
Yeah. I can't even remember what I'm saying. They treat you like a celebrity. So like, after I weighed in, they made sure that like all of your hydration is on point. You then did the press conference.
That was mad.
It was mad, but
again with the social awkwardness. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were bricking it.
Yeah, and they asked me a question about like squat depth from competing in the ABPU, and the whole room just went silent. And I'm just not very good at being on the spot, right? And then I just wanted the ground to swallow me up. But maybe I'll be a bit more prepared this year. Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had the whole press conference, which was just crazy. Like, I like that people are like beefing each other, and like it's just kind of gearing up.
All the girls weren't there. They're all just like, I'm just happy to be here.
I think she'll do really well. And then the men are just like, nah, you can't do this, you can't do that, whatever. But yeah, and then the actual competition obviously was insane as well. Yeah, very fast paced. Yeah, really good.
And then like on that subject of kind of like the business of powerlifting, like we've grown significantly like over the past 18 months. The plan is to keep growing, to have more lifters, to like fill all the coaching spots that we can allocate, and sort of just grow, maybe get an office one day. Yeah. Obviously we're doing online coaching, and our service that we offer within that, you know, we're offering you your tailored training plan. There is no kind of like copy and paste with this. You're getting nutritional advice, somewhere to track your calories and macros. Your calories and macros will be set for you. We can give nutritional advice on meals, etc. There's a team chat and team community that you're a part of. We guarantee a handler within the UK, and to be honest with you, if we're taking a team internationally, we'll be there to handle as well. your team tracksuit is provided for you within your coaching fee that you pay every single month. And just generally, yeah, we're there 24/7 for that support. And like, we're really big on, especially with the having a handler at the meet, we're really big on making sure that that's something that we do, because like I said, with the experience that we've had before, like you go to your first comp, like, and your coach ain't there, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's nothing worse than seeing like someone who's worked so hard for their competition and they'll like miss a command or just not be wrapped in time, and you just need someone to take control of that.
Like when we went to Alton, we won't mention his name, but the lad who he had,
Bless him.
Tell him about what he was like. I think he missed a squat command straight up, didn't he? And
I think he missed it twice.
yeah.
I mean, I think that's
have to think under your
what
wing.
was good about the referees, is that they could clearly see that. Whilst you've obviously adhere to all the rules, they can clearly see if it's someone's very first time and they've got no clue, and they'll support him within that. But I think we just naturally took it upon ourselves just to make sure how he was going to go throughout the day, and just make sure he was warming up right and everything like that too.
Yeah. He said to us, wasn't it, something like, we asked him what his 1 rep maxes were, and he's like, like 90, and then we'd seen he'd put 120 as his first attempt. We were like, nah, okay, cool. I mean, it flew up. It flew up, and it definitely wasn't. I don't know, maybe. I don't think he understood.
I
Do you know what I mean?
don't know how he made it there, bless him. I think he probably thought he was off to something else.
Yeah.
Nice day out somewhere, and he ended up on the platform.
He had a great time. But that's another thing about powerlifting, which is great, is like the people who were there, like they cheered him on. Like they knew that he didn't know what he was doing. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah. Special sport, man. Special sport. And like, if we were to say like anything else that you guys can think of about like why us, like why someone would come to us that maybe we're different from other coaching companies.
I just think like we're very personal. We'll have like a very close relationship with the clients. Like you said, everything is like tailor made, and just making sure that, like, even just like mentally, like, are you okay? And caring. I think that's what I found really special, having a coach.
Yeah. It's all right. I just give you shit nicknames, basically. Yeah. Do you want to tell them how the Shetland came about? Tell them about how Shetland came about first, the origins of Shetland.
You're really like dropping me in it today, you know?
It's the best way.
It's here for a good time.
Why don't you have a nickname yet?
Huh? Coaches aren't allowed nicknames.
Big Daddy Ravs.
There you go.
Big Daddy Ravs. Okay.
That's it.
Big Daddy Ravs.
It's out now.
That's the secret one. Okay, so Shetland you just started Shetland because I've got little legs.
Yeah, basically.
Basically.
For anyone who doesn't know, it's a Shetland pony. So that the smallest kind of horse.
Do you want to know a fact?
Yeah.
Also, pound for pound, the strongest horse. Just saying.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what you meant, innit?
No pound for pound in the jungle, mate.
Okay. So Shetland then veered off to Shetland because I am a very nervous person, and when it comes round to competitions, I'm actually going to blame you for this, because the night of competition, we don't do this anymore, by the way. You have to have a jacket potato with 3 beans and 2 pieces of cheese.
That is in your contract.
That's in your contract. That's when you sign the Pendulum Hotel dry jacket potato. That's what you're getting for dinner.
Now it's steak. It's
steak and Sophie's roast potatoes.
Yeah.
But the night before abs, why did we do this? We decided that
Irish Pro.
Oh, was it Irish Pro?
It was Irish Pro. We were in Limerick.
Okay, yeah, because we got recommended the burger place, right? So we were like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's try out this burger place. Bear in mind that I'm feeling really, really nervous. And then I decide to get a milkshake, the cheesiest bloody, what are they called?
Cheese balls?
Cheese bites.
Cheese bites.
Just cheese bites.
Yeah. Bear in mind, my little stomach was on like lactose-free milk back then. And then I just ended up, having the shits.
Yeah, so Shetland.
Out, yeah, like instant food in mouth, straight out. then it turned to Shetland. But now,
I forgot. Did we order that for you, or did you order that yourself?
you ordered it for me. You said, Charlotte,
No.
eat this. Really good for you. Really good.
I wouldn't call you
that.
Charlotte.
That's when it gets serious. But no, and now I just have a problem. I have to carry around
Diorolite. Imodium.
Imodium to stop. Even if I'm coaching now, I'll get nervous. Pop an Imodium.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Shetland.
There are some funny nicknames though, aren't there?
Yeah. Should we list some?
Yeah, should we nickname? Yeah, go on. Have pick someone.
Meg.
Okay. So
She's had a few.
So originally she was called the Chipolata. Now, if you know about Meg, she had life-changing surgery, which basically she nearly died. And when she came back to PT, she was 40 kilos. And obviously me trying to make light of a horrible situation said her legs looked like pepperamis, which eventually grew and kind of grew into a Chipolata, which is slightly bigger than a pepperami. So she got that. And then randomly, shout out to Ash for spotting this, but she, with her hairstyle, looks exactly like Brian May. So now we just call her Brian.
And now
She got a shout out on the mic, didn't she?
Yeah, she got a shout out from Emma.
It's Brian May.
She's like Emma, the head of the ABPU, the British Powerlifting Union. I said to her, "Oh, you know, it's Brian May." One time, next time when Meg's walking out to bench or something like that, she's like, "Oh, on the mic, I can't unsee it. But here's Meg, the Brian May lookalike." Whole room just starts laughing. We were pissing ourselves, weren't we?
Brilliant.
Yeah, man.
Who else is there? Tiff is Toddles.
Toddles, yeah.
Because someone goes, cool, she squats like a toddler, and that just stuck.
Yeah, so toddler went to... It was Todd. It was Todd. And then it was Toddles, yeah.
All these names just branch off.
They do, yeah.
Who else do we have?
Soph is the female. Because
Soph is the female.
If you ever look at Soph's body, right, she has one. Apart from having a massive wagon, just gonna sweeten her up here first. My girlfriend, obviously, I've got to talk highly of her. But her feet are so small, yeah. It's just surprising that at like 5'9" she can barely stand up straight. Right, but then also, the femur, she just has really, really long femurs. She's got barely any like calf. It's just like
no ankles as well.
She's not on here to defend herself yet. That's unfair.
She can come on later. Let me look through the list of names. Who else do we have? We have the Jerrys. Yeah,
Jerrys. So that's our two masters lifters, Jerry 1 and Jerry 2. Jerry stands for geriatric. So we've got they're actually, they put most 20 somethings to shame. But just there's the horrible nicknames that we have. Jen, Slab. Yeah, it's got big head, Slab head.
Yeah.
Or sometimes Tash. She's quite a hairy girl.
She got tested.
She got tested in Hungary, actually. Talking at that one, yeah. You got tested recently in America, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this day for a long time. What a compliment.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, I was so happy that I could probably frame that little certificate. By the way,
were you positive? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. You're negative.
I'm clear,
all right.
I'm clear. So all of you that tried to say that I'm on drugs.
Do you get a lot of that from people?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Like I've even had people come up to me in the gym and be like, "So, like, what are you on?" I'm like, "Creatine and protein." That's about it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What am I on?
You just eat liver. Like the Liver King. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
And putting the left sock on for your right sock.
Yeah.
Top tip.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I get a lot. Yeah, but I like it. I'm like, please tell me more.
I think the thing is with you as well. Like, is we see it as well. Is like when you coach an athlete, there's like a different level of dedication. Everybody has that different. And like, I've had people that have loads of talent, but they don't want to watch their food. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to come in for that 4th day a week to train, or they don't want to get good sleep. And they're all of different ages, different reasons, different job types, whatever. Some people are being young and wild. Other people are settled. Oh, right. Oh,
that made me jump.
Sure. But yeah, so other people are settled, and that kind of like your dedication to it is every single day ticking the box with like the macros, every single day training hard, not whinging about it. I mean, you do whinge, but you know, other people like need to be forced to go to the gym. You might whinge that I've given you something hard, but like to actually turn up on the day, like her level of discipline is just crazy. Mixed with obviously gymnastics background, where you know, like
you know, if an athlete that you're coaching has come from a background where they've done sport before,
and you are pushing. I mean, you're like nearly at triple bodyweight deadlift and triple bodyweight squat. You're closer to triple bodyweight than you are 2.5 times, right? Is that?
I think so. I don't know. I can't do maths.
And there's like a nearly like a what is it 1.5 times bench? Nearly
creeping.
Yeah, but. Let me tell you, if she was on gear with my coaching, she'd be doing more.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I mean, if you've seen my deadlift, you know I'm not on gear.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. That's your least favourite, right?
What, deadlift?
Yeah.
No, I like deadlift, but I'm just not very good at it.
It's your arms are so short, innit? You've got short legs, short arms.
Yeah, Shetland.
Yeah. What's your favourite one, Ravs?
I think probably bench.
Yeah.
Probably like pound for pound is probably my strongest lift. I think just my introduction to the sport was really like got in with a equipped crew who were like sort of doing bench only kind of comps. So that was kind of it. Not that I don't squat or deadlift. They're okay, but probably bench. Yeah.
You're like our kind of go-to for like like I would say that for me, like I can coach them all, but I'm not so proficient at bench.
You like a squat.
I like a squat.
You do like a squat.
I like a squat.
You get commented on your good squat coaching skills.
Maybe sometimes. Yeah, when they don't fall over at the bottom. Like Jen did at the Worlds. She kind of like fell onto her knees with it. Still held onto it.
That was a long time.
You can't coach. You can't coach that.
No, you can't coach that. You can't coach that.
She learned that somewhere else.
You know, like when a footballer kind of like slides on their knees, like, do you know what I mean? Like to the corner flag. That's like how she ended up.
They get stuck in the grass.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, she comes up from it. She's like, oh, my back hurts. I was like, I'm not surprised, Jen. It's like, you still got a bench and deadlift, by the way, mate. we're at a European Championships here, mate. Yeah. I think like I think deadlifting, powerlifting is definitely the best one to watch. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like the atmosphere. When we were at the Brits, and I can't remember, I think it was like women's, I think it was up to 60 kilos, because we had a lot of you there, up to 60 kilos. Like the last deadlifts, the atmosphere was just crazy. Yeah. And that's like women's powerlifting. That was like women's only. Do you know what I mean?
The best day.
Yeah. I like women's powerlifting. I like men powerlifting as well, but like I think like it's two completely different vibes. Just the difference between the genders, like women's powerlifting, they're way more likely to be friendly to each other.
But whereas, I like the deadlift because you can obviously make changes.
You like watching the men's powerlifting though, don't you?
No. I like watching the women.
You like watching the women?
Yeah. Lesbian in theory, but never in practice, right?
Oh God.
Some strong girls. I can appreciate them.
Yeah. I think like the women are definitely driving forward the sport at the moment as well. Like there's a lot of, obviously there's men are driving the sport forward, but like the intake seems to be a lot of women these days are powerlifting, whereas like we're talking maybe pre-COVID, not as many.
I think it was just getting in pre-COVID, where Fed I was competing under, like they were sort of the first to do women's only comp, like qualifier, and then made a women's like the British Championships was spread across 3 or 4 days, and there was a women's only day. That's how popular it kind of got before that as well, and that's sort of what sparked it. So yeah, probably like the back end of the 2010s, and then COVID sort of put in the way a little bit, but now it's like you're having multiple, like we went to the Brits, there was multiple days where it was just female only. Yeah. Different ages, different weight classes, like the growth insane. Yeah.
And then there's the essentials that come along with that, right?
Yeah, so we have a running joke in our team about the essentials that the girls have to go through, which is they have to fake tan before they go on the platform. They have to have their eyelashes, and they have to have some sort of nail arrangement going on.
And the war braids.
And the war braids, the essential. It does my fucking nutting when we're trying to leave an Airbnb in the morning, and it's like, girls, we're lifting in an hour and we're not even there to warm up. Oh yeah, 1 minute.
No.
1 minute. Main offender over here as well. Terrible.
You're missing out. Can someone make me a coffee? Right.
Yeah.
So now you've put us back on our braiding time.
How long does it take a coffee to make?
Really long time.
No, well, yeah, maybe for you. Maybe for you.
No, but you'll say a time, and then as soon as you're ready, we have to go with that time.
Yeah, because that's when the meet starts.
No, it could be 15 minutes before. You're ready now, so we've got to go.
Yeah, exactly.
But you actually gave us 15 more minutes.
No.
Yesterday, you said.
It's typical, isn't it? You know what I mean? Typical. Yeah. I know you don't live in reality, but you know, I mean, they do my head in every single time. We can't escape it. There's always one of them that's late, and the bigger the group, the harder it is because they just egg each other on. Oh, don't listen to him. It's fine. Da 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 da.
Exactly what we say.
You do.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah, you do. We're taking a big group, and I think it's like all women to Mexborough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. Last time I was in Mexborough, funnily enough, we parked up in, like, if anybody's ever been to the north, like, you know, the old kind of like where workers, like factory workers, would live in the rows of old Victorian like terrace houses with the alleyways going down the back. Anyway, Mexborough, obviously in Yorkshire near Sheffield, probably had some industry there many moons ago that's been taken out, and they looked like there was a fair amount of poverty there. So we booked a B&B in one of these like houses, and when we arrive, it's dark. Pull up. First thing, this Ford Transit van comes screaming past us right as we're getting the bags out at the end of the road, screeches like to a halt. Loads of men jump out, and I'm like, oh, brilliant, I'm the only one on my own, right, with two girls. Luckily, they were just going off wherever. Walk into the house, stinks of cat piss, right? Stinks of cat piss. Anyway, we go to bed. Wake up the next morning, it's nice and bright. Look at the house opposite, and their front room window's been smashed in.
Nice.
Derelict house. So we do stay in some funny places when it comes to.
It's a good idea to go back this year.
Yeah. We're going to stay in Sheffield this time though. We're not going to. We're not going to stay in Mexborough. It's not happening. No, we're going to find like a nice Hilton or something like that to sleep in, like a sauna. Good. We go sit in the morning. Yeah, good breakfast. Yeah. You've stayed in some funky places though, haven't you?
Have.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't do too bad, to be fair.
Yeah.
No, we always try and find the nicer bit, but you know, make do or just drive up on the day, kind of thing as well.
Yeah. Sometimes we drive up. We stayed in a really like odd town in Hungary. Do you remember that one?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Really interesting place.
Yeah, it's if like they hadn't seen the rest of the world. Kind of thing. Everything was still
walking across train tracks. Like we get out the train and you're on the track, just walking.
Yeah, it's like them old like USSR countries, like traveling. Obviously, like there's not as much care here, so it's like you just can walk across the train track or walk across the tracks. There's no platform. You have to like climb into the train.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We were a bit like taken back by that, but it was nice.
And we're just so used to like a health and safety kind of thing.
Yeah. There's no health and safety there. Yeah. In like the old kind of like old USSR sports hall, like with like a handball stadium almost. That was kind of like a cool comp.
Yeah,
but
you get the dancers.
The
dancers and the like three parents watching them.
Yeah. So the opening ceremony of that competition, there was like 3 dancers and like 1 man and his dog in the crowd, like opening up the whole thing. Like, nah, embarrassing, man. Embarrassing.
I feel like Louisiana, that was character building for me. I arrived and I was like, I want to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was some sights.
Yeah, I think the thing about obviously when we traveled to the States, like you're going to New Orleans, and New Orleans obviously had the Hurricane Katrina, and the way that the American system works, the flaws in the American system, picking people up who struggled with that, seeing the homeless villages underneath the
crazy.
subway was hard. Not to mention the fact it was like 35 degrees. We stayed in New Orleans, and the competition was in Baton Rouge. So we were like typical tourists. We rented convertible Mustangs.
Another essentials powerlifting competition.
And Joe had it's kind of like big, like
had a bus.
Like it's like a gangster bus. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like a big gangster, like 4x4.
That was the first thing that threw me over the edge.
Yeah.
Nearly dying.
Yeah, immigration was pretty bad as well. I remember there was like one person, all the Americans getting let through with their passports, and then we're just there, 35-degree heat competing. They changed to a 30 kilo squat bar. We adapted. 25 kilo bench bar they changed to. We adapted. The bench wouldn't go low enough to get some of the girls with like shorter arms off the lower setting with the wide grip.
The plates were in pounds.
Plates were all in pounds. Just made the adjustments.
They didn't even have collars.
Yeah. I think they did when it came to
They were plastic.
Yeah.
Clips.
Yeah, they were clips, I think.
Yeah,
But-
it was an experience.
Yeah. I think we were expecting a little bit more out of the Americans when we were there, weren't we?
They were like taken back by our like lifting and our reactions and stuff like that. They were like, wow,
Yeah.
not seen this before.
Like just girls, like obviously I'm back slapping them, we're all screaming for each other, like people are coming up to the platform like and these Americans are in the crowd just like, what the fuck is going on? These British people.
It's a bit weird to hear because they're normally a little bit OTT with everything kind of things. So
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. Anyway, I think that's for the first one. I think that's enough. So thank you both for coming, and stay tuned for our next one.
there we go.